Hey there, my friends. It's Patrick from Focus Digital, and another great high-level video tutorial here for those of you that were interested in trigger links and how to do single-click registrations for emails. You know, here at Focus Digital, we come up with all kinds of creative solutions for our marketing automation clients, and that's really where my passion lies, is in marketing automation and allowing people to make fewer clicks to get things done. So if you like stuff like this, make sure you check out the YouTube playlist where we have other kinds of videos like this. And we're trying to add a video, every couple of weeks for the more complicated or obscure things that you can do in HighLevel. And as always, I would be remiss if I didn't say, like and subscribe, because that's how we get the juice, and that's what allows us to make more videos. We're not making really any money on YouTube, but the subscriber base, allows us to figure out what people want. And if, by the way, as before we get into this, if there's anything really technical or mediocre skill level that you want to see me talk about, let me know in the comments, or obviously message me on social media, and I'll create a video for it. Okay, so here we are in my training instance. Typical. Typical high-level account. If you don't have a training instance, I would very much encourage you to create one and assign a domain to it and set it up just like a regular account. That way you can come around and experiment with stuff and not mess with your main account. Plus, if you deal with clients, which hopefully you are, you can basically sit here and create sandbox stuff and play stuff and not worry about creating it like a main account, and then a month later you're back in the main account trying to figure out what was this mess you cleaned up because it was a test mess. So the post, this is in relation to a post I put on there where I was asking why more people don't do one-click registrations. And this is a video showing how to do that. Before we get into this, quick disclaimer, or disclaimer more like a warning, is this is not appropriate to do for every single time you want someone to register for something. Even for my clients, and as somebody pointed out in social media, there may be times where you want to stop people at a page, either because you want extra information from them, that's one example right there, or because you want to upsell them to something. So, and the example we're going to use here is like, let's say a webinar registration, right? You're sending out email because you want people to register for a webinar, and let's say the webinar is free. But even on free offers like that, there are basically ways to you should be building a funnel on occasion to sell them something else. So even if someone's gonna, opt in for your free webinar, maybe the order form after the opt-in is an upsell to get the recordings or to get a PDF or something like that. So this is one of those things that you shouldn't implement for everything. Pick and choose when you should do it, but when you want to do it, it's really, really handy. So how do we do one-click registrations or one-click actions from emails? Here's how we do it. What do you need? First of all, you need, let me get out of full screen here, right here. Okay. First of all, what you need is some kind of confirmation page. So I took one of these sample templates right here in HighLevel, and I made a sample confirmation page. And this would be my webinar confirmation page kind of thing right here. And all this is basically this is what they're going to see after the click. So how you would normally send somebody to an opt-in page or an order page, in this particular case, the click is going to send someone just to a confirmation registration page right here. That's what you need, number one. Number two, what you need, and some of the big magic of this, is you need something called a trigger link. Now, pause for a second. If you are not using trigger links, these things are pretty darn cool. You want to use them more. A trigger link is just a way for you to predefine a link that you can use in emails and other places that can then force an automation to kick off. Okay, so let's come over here under marketing, where our trigger links are defined. And right here, you will see that I have a trigger link defined called test one. And all that trigger link does is send someone to this registration page over here. That's all it does, really. It doesn't take them to a form. It really doesn't do much besides that, okay? So what we're doing over here is you're gonna push somebody to register for a webinar, right? So you've got your your email sequence here where you're pushing someone here, and in this email you're like, hey, register for my really cool webinar, will you be there? And you have a link here, and right here is where you normally would put in your opt-in page or your order page for that thing. But if you click on that, you'll see that for a link here, I have this bizarre text right here. So normally, you would put in, your webinar registration.com page here, right? Well, what you can do instead is you can just pick that trigger link we defined over there. So little flag tag thing over here. I'm going to pick this bizarre string. Don't worry about what it says. It's a system thing. But this is basically the equivalent of that trigger link I defined on the other page over there. And so what happens when they click on here in my email, it's just going to fire off that trigger link and take them to the confirmation page. So as far as the end users can see they've done their part and they're registered for the event. Remember, you could also send them to another page to maybe do an upsell or something like that. That's all up to you. But the important thing is we've activated that trigger link. And once we've activated that trigger link, the world of automation has now become your oyster. So over here in a different automation, because they've confirmed attendance to my webinar, right, to my Zoom event, to my whatever, here's another automation which is triggered by, can you guess it? Yes, trigger link. You can add a trigger link here. You know what? We'll just do it from scratch. Let's delete this one. Your trigger can literally be a trigger link. I keep forgetting you can search over here. This is so cool. So trigger link is your trigger, and then you can pick one of your trigger links you've defined. I've got one here called test one. You save that, and then you kick off your automation, which can do everything else. It can send them, in this case, I'm sending them a confirmation email. For those of you that do Zoom type stuff, right here is where you could connect over to Plus This. That's what I really like. There's a tool called Plus This out there, which allows you to do basically you could fire off a connection over here to go over to Plus This, which would then connect to Zoom, register people for whatever you've defined as far as a Zoom event, and then it actually store their link back over in a field, a custom field inside of HighLevel. So I've used this a lot with Keep, a little bit with HighLevel, but the concept is the same. Now again, this is not required. If you want to get really fancy and do a webhook over to Zoom, or fire off something over in Zapier to do it, there's multiple ways to do it. Plus This is just one I've known about for a long time that we've used in those situations. But then, so they click the trigger link, they get sent to a confirmation page, and then on the back end, you're handling this automation right here. Pretty simple stuff, right? Hopefully this will be useful for you. Like I said, if you want any other examples that our agency does when it comes to more of the medium to complex automations, please, reach out and let us know one way or the other. And if you want to see some other content or some other videos of, technical things, I can create those also. Hopefully this will be useful for you. Have a great, great day, my friend, and we will chat in the next video.